Jaron Ennis and Custio Clayton, the post-fight recap. So what do we think? Impressive fight, right? First, I want to clarify this and reiterate this. Custio Clayton was not a slouch. He was not chopped liver. And oftentimes when someone beats someone so easily, we think that their opponent was just a walk in the park, or was just someone that they just tossed in to fight for an easy win. And this wasn't the case. Custio Clayton, prior to this fight, has never been knocked down before. He was an undefeated fighter, an Olympian at that, right? As someone who has been to 2 Olympic Games myself and got a bronze medal, it takes a lot to get to that level, because you are the best in your country at the division at that time. You are the best of the best, competing against the best in the world. And Custio Clayton was there. It's just the fact that this was not his night. And when he got into the ring with Boots, he realized it was a different level to boxing. But he was a good fighter. Let's talk about the fight. All fight, from the beginning of the fight, Custio Clayton could not close the gap. He couldn't figure Boots out. And you could see he was trying to, he was moving as more of a counterpuncher style, right? He was trying to figure out, man, how do I get close to this guy? How do I get close to him so I can land my shots? And you could see him in the ring thinking. But every time that he was thinking, that pistol-like jab of Boots came right in his face, and Boots made him stop thinking and start backpedaling and start fighting off the back foot. And for those who have watched the last video, and I thank each of you for tuning in and sharing your thoughts, I said the moment and the time, if Boots gets Custio Clayton to fight off of his back leg, it's only going to be a matter of time before the inevitable happened, and it happened in the second round. Boots showed a dominant performance. He used this jab that we knew that was going to come, but he followed that up with angles. He followed that up with great combinations. He followed that up with body shots. He followed that up with constant movements and constant pressure. And he put so much pressure and constant movement, and he hid behind that jab so much that he was in complete control the moment that the fight started, the moment that the bell rang. He was in complete control. Custio Clayton had no answer for Boots. And the more that I started to watch this fight, I started to think about, man, this guy, Jaron Ennis, gets better each and every single performance. And each and every single performance, we say that this is the guy that is supposed to stop him. This is the guy that is supposed to test him. He dominates the test every single time. And it poses me with this next question as I was walking around my room, thinking about how am I going to put this video together. A question that came to mind that I want to ask to you: what is next for Boots? Now, I know in many people's opinion, you're going to say it's a title shot, right? But it's not as easy as people may think for that scenario to come to fruition, right? Spence and Crawford is the top of the division, and hopefully in the fall, we may be able to see that fight. And that's going to be one of the biggest fights that we've seen in this era, right? But it is a possibility that the person who wins that fight, right, they're going to become undisputed. But the person who wins that fight, whether Spence or Crawford, they may never get into the ring with Boots. Because I think the winner of that fight, when they become undisputed, is going to move up to 154. Because Spence and Crawford, one is 33, the other is 34, which means time is a factor, which means that they are trying to move up and get other titles and get better competition, better paydays. And someone is going to have to be a loser on that night. Now, you may say the loser would be the one to fight Jaron Ennis Boots. But that may not work out as well too. We would like and think that it would like to be so, but it may not be so. Now, while we are waiting for those fights to happen, there's still a timeline to see what is next for Boots. Now, I want to toss some names at you in that division. Perhaps Jaron Ennis versus Keith Thurman. Perhaps Jaron Ennis versus Conor Benn. Perhaps Jaron Ennis versus Ortiz Jr. Perhaps against Stanionis. I don't know. I'm just throwing some names out there because it has to be someone in the top division. But people don't want to fight Boots, not because he can't be beaten or he can't be hurt, but because he's a dangerous fighter. He's a disruptor. And a dangerous and disrupted fighter is an avoided fighter, even if they aren't the champion. So let me know when you're in the comments below, who do you think Boots should fight next? What is next for Boots? Don't forget to subscribe to the channel and definitely hit the like button.